Uriah Factor is on tonight.
This is absolutely an attack on women's health care.
Same old song from far-left zealot Sandra Fluke. If you are skeptical of Obamacare, you hate women. When will this stuff ever stop? We'll have a special report.
I think the only thing that could be below you is to not have a job. Go work until you can get the job that you want to have.
A big TV star preaching self-reliance to American young people. We'll take a look at Ashton Kutcher's campaign. Also tonight, Dennis Miller on the knockout violence across the country, the best of Water's world, and another mayor going nuts.
Don't call me mayor, call me because that's what I am.
Caution. You are about to enter the no spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight on this Thanksgiving Eve. Are you happy with your country? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. No question, we live in a divided nation. After 5 years of President Obama, who wants to change America and impose social justice, many Americans have had enough. The economy's all wrong. The only reason we're not in a recession is because the Fed is printing money to prop things up, and that is eroding the value of the dollars we are holding. Also, the national healthcare situation is chaotic, to say the least. A recent Fox News poll asked, are you satisfied with how things are going in America? Just 26% said yes, and a whopping 73% no. Similar result came from a CBS poll, which usually leans Democratic. In that one, 27% of Americans say we are on the right track, 68% wrong track. And so you can see that there is deep disenchantment in the USA. Part of that is the harsh rhetoric that is being used in the arena of ideas. The far left, now on the defensive, is lashing out.
It's a corporation picking and choosing which types of laws they want to comply with. And our belief in this society has always been that we protect the religious liberty of individuals in their private lives. This is absolutely an attack on women's health care.
Ms. Fluke objecting to some religious business owners filing suit, which would be heard, by the Supreme Court, because they're being forced to fund the morning after pill and other forms of birth control. Apparently, she sees sincere religious convictions as an attack on American women. On the right, there is also no shortage of anger.
The fact is, we're run by either very foolish or very stupid people. What's going on in this country is unbelievable. Our country is a total mess, a total and complete mess. And what we need is leadership.
The divide between Democrats and Republicans is so great that only a huge event will be able to breach it. We had that on 9/11, when Americans united against the terror attack. And now we have another shock, the impending collapse of Obamacare. If that happens, and that's a big if, because the president will use all his power to prevent the law from imploding. But if he fails, independent voters will swing to the right, and the Republican Party will reemerge with a powerful mandate. That will not stop the political hatred, but it will give another philosophy a chance to turn America around economically and solve some vexing problems like health care and immigration. And so while Thanksgiving should be a day of reflection, big change may be in the air. Some of us will be thankful if that change happens, and some of us will not be. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight. What about Americans who are unhappy with their lives and their country? With us now, Dr. Gail Saltz, a psychiatrist in private practice. And from Newburyport, Massachusetts, Dr. Keith Ablow, also a psychiatrist and a Fox News contributor. How often, in your experience, Dr. Ablow, does the private angst merge with the public angst? So say you're a happy person in your private life, but you're really, like Trump is, fed up with the country and you're really depressed about it. How does that impact?
In this case, Bill, it impacts very significantly, and many people are more sour on their own existences, depressed even, because of what's happening in the nation. And the reason is because this isn't just about a calamity. This is about a message from Washington that you ought not practice autonomy, that you are not the master of your destiny, that you need help in order to make the right decisions, and you're going to have to buy things that we want you to buy, like health care insurance, even if it isn't the best product or the one you would choose. A disempowering message from the government, just like one from a family, is depressing.
How do you see it, Dr. Saltz?
I think people are more unhappy about their individual states, but I do think it has a lot to do with what is going on in the country, which is trouble in the economy. When people don't have money, they feel like they don't have power and they feel helpless, and that is frightening. I think people are frightened about a lot of the violence that's going on right now, what's happening with guns right now, and feeling helpless in terms of most Americans wanted there to be better background checks, and
yeah, but
they
gun
couldn't get
violence
that
doesn't.
through.
When you look at the population, and as you know, violent crime has fallen now for 2 decades, and gun violence doesn't really affect most people personally, while the economy does, as you pointed out. They see it. They see it on TV,
Yeah,
and they see it.
I would disagree with you. I would say that seeing on TV mass shootings like Newtown and like the Colorado movie theater, while it doesn't happen to most Americans, it's so present in their living rooms.
Really, you think so? I don't know one person.
I
have to say,
afraid.
I don't know one person in my set, and my set is working class. It's not she Manhattan people. All right, I don't know one person worried about guns. Not anybody. All right, now, Dr. Ablow. When you see these polls, all right, you see that 2/3, let's be fair, 2/3 of Americans right now, according to the polling, are disenchanted with the country. They don't think the country is doing what it should do. President Obama's taking a heat for that. He's the leader. Okay. Now, can that become a personality disorder? And hear me out here. I hear invective on radio and television that is disgusting, hateful, and I think harmful to the people who hear it. And I hear this from both sides. And it's grounded in, well, I can call so-and-so this name because he's hurting the country doing this. How do you process that?
I think that the polarization certainly can weigh on people because they have a sense of impending doom. Something's got to give. Because why does something have to give? Because Bill, all of this adds up to, regardless of what Dr. Saltz says, it's not that people are, laid low by watching news of Newtown. It's that they know that they're being called not responsible enough to own guns.
Okay, but are they being
not
whipped
responsible
up
enough to keep a job?
Look, are they being whipped up by the hateful rhetoric? You heard Sandra Fluke say, if you're against. If you're supporting the religious conviction, then you hate women, you're attacking women. I mean, this whips people up, and they do it on the right too. They whip them up to this angry state like this, and I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think that's driving a lot of this.
I think it's both and. It's whipping people up with the hateful rhetoric, and it's telling them if you have an opinion, that makes you a bad person.
No, I don't
you're
know.
not supposed to voice these
what do you say?
opinions.
Go ahead.
I think we've lost a certain decorum, a certain empathy to stand in the shoes of the person that we're screaming at. So there is a lot of hateful screaming going on from both sides, and I think it also makes us feel kind of helpless and hopeless, that no one can come to any agreement. It's like if you're in a family and your parents are arguing all the time, and you can't come to them and say, look, this isn't working out for me, I need to get something done, sit down with me and help me fix things, and they just keep screaming at each other dysfunctionally,
right.
Yeah.
you're going to feel very helpless.
But what does that do to a human being when they hear it and they see it? It makes them depressed. What does it do?
It makes them feel hopeless and kind of impotent. And that, there's a phenomenon called learned helplessness, where they electrified the bottom of the cage for rats, and they just shocked them no matter where they went in the cage. And eventually, you know what the rats did? They laid down.
Well,
anybody
would.
Yes.
Not at all.
And I think nationally that people are feeling somewhat helpless.
And I'll give you the last word, Ablow. Now, keep it pithy, man. Go ahead.
Here's the pithy last word. There can be no height of rhetoric too high when you have a guy in the corner office who wants to, in a wholesale way, disengage us from our freedoms, from what it's meant to be American.
And you're talking about the president, right?
Absolutely, from entrepreneurship and from empowerment. This disempowerment president is creating depression in people who are being told not to actualize their own selves.
All right.
That's depressing.
Doctors, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Next on